Good. My name is Alton Brewington. I'm with Discover Brightside, and I'm with Aubrey Federhoff.
Yes.
Okay. So now, this mold thing. Now, in a new house. So, now imagine that. Now, I'm sure then you've discovered a few major tests that the typical homeowner could do to make sure your home is free from mold. Is that
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh-huh. What are those tests, if you don't mind I ask?
Yeah, so I always recommend before you start on a home, if you're curious about if your home has mold, because that's going to be more expensive, I always recommend starting on the body. So if you're symptomatic and the list of symptoms really could cover the gamut, mold was
Right.
labeled by the World Health Organization as the great masquerader of the
Uh-huh.
21st century. So it can literally be linked to almost any condition.
Anything. Okay.
It can really look like anything. But yeah, if you have a lot of symptoms that seem unrelated, for my family, one of my sons had asthma and breathing issues. Another son had chronic skin issues. I had a lot of hormonal issues, a lot of autoimmune stuff that kept popping up. I was losing hair. I was exhausted. I started losing eyesight. My heart became enlarged, and I was seeing a
Wow.
cardiologist in my 20s. I
Uh-huh.
had early onset, we thought, dementia, and I was tested in my 30s for early onset dementia. It's
Uh,
just
uh,
what seems super random,
right.
but really mold affects every single system in your body. And
Uh-huh.
it affects everybody differently based on a lot of things. But one big part is genetic. We all have a different set of genetic makeup. And so someone might be a little bit weaker in one area, maybe the gut, and someone else might be more prone to mood disturbances, which is another thing that happens with mold. Anxiety, depression are really big, ADHD,
Uh-huh.
cognitive decline.
Wow. Wow.
So, knowing all of that, if you or someone in your home is really struggling with what seems to be unconnected symptoms, my first go to is always to test your body to see
Uh-huh.
what the toxin burden is on your body. And
Okay.
I always recommend doing a mold mycotoxin blood serum test.
Okay. 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 Now, is there a test for the house? Do you
There
know?
is,
Okay.
there
Okay.
is, but that is usually what I would say you would go to number two because it's going to
Okay.
be more expensive. It's going to be a lot bigger investment and honestly a much bigger process. When you're looking at the entire home,
Uh,
especially in my case and so many of my clients, we don't see the mold.
right.
If I see the mold, I already know where the problem
Right.
is, but
Right. Right.
often,
Exactly.
yeah. So
But
it's gonna go
at
ahead.
the end of the day, though, if you could get your home tested before you move in, you know,
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah, that would save you and your body a whole lot of inconvenience. So now, thank you for that. That's amazing. I mean, it makes me under. I mean, it's not one of the things that you target. It's just one of the things that you, yeah, just free test. I mean, because if you're planning on buying a new home to move in, it's just one of those things that an inspection model. Inspect my house
Absolutely.
of mold before I move in. And if there's a standardized test that you
Mhm.
can evaluate your home prior to moving in and to make the inspector provide that delivery. And if there's not, there needs to be one. And so
Yes,
that's interesting.
yes.
So,
I would
mm,
definitely say before you move into a home, if you're worried about that, and I think everybody should be, because
oh
nobody needs
yeah,
to live in toxins,
yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah,
want to have an inspector go through, a qualified inspector, and
yeah.
check. And also someone like me, I would start with a mold dog because mold
Right.
dogs, they can find mold that oftentimes inspectors might not be able to find.
That's an actual dog.
Oh
That's an
yeah, they're trained the same as a drug dog,
uh-huh.
but to find
Wow.
mold and
Wow.
using inhalation.
Get
So,
out of here. No, that's amazing.
mhm.
So let me cut to the chase. I'm
Wait, let
sorry.
me stop recording. So thank you for watching
No.
Discover
Okay, okay.
Brightside, and he's going to